Hello everyone, my name is Benji, and welcome back to Dyson Sphere program, where I have developed a massive Dyson Sphere for our newest project, which is going to be our antimatter and warper production for our entire solar system. Now, this is actually my second time recording this, which is why part of it is already built, as you can see here. But this Dyson Sphere is absolutely massive. This thing is 30,000 meters in orbital radius. It has almost 80,000 planned structure points, over 2 million planned cell points, which are not launching for some reason. That's very interesting, and I'll have to troubleshoot that, but you can see our blueprint from the end of last episode working, which is why I wanted to show that off now. You can see that it is requesting the small carrier rockets, and it is sending the small carrier rockets up through all of these. It simply sends them around and around and around until eventually they hit the end, and they just launch up into the nodes of our Dyson Sphere. Which, for this, you can see all of our lovely drones going and building the sphere as we go. I figured out that you can paint the spheres different colors, and oh my gosh, I love it already. Look at that. Look at that beautiful blue. I love it already. It's fantastic. I am going to have to figure out the issue with the solar sails, though. And then over here in Deuteron, our deuterium processing system, we have a fully independent Dyson Sphere right here that supplies all of the power for the whole system. No hemorrhaging of solar sails at all, just a Dyson Sphere providing all of the power. And then very similar in the Canis Majoris system, which is where all of our small carrier rockets are being created. This one is actually over its consumption, but I'm going to go on ahead and let it build the Dyson Sphere because I think it'll look cool. It has 2 layers because one layer was not providing enough power, so we have 2 layers. I just love seeing the sails hit the orbit and then immediately disintegrate and get absorbed. Super cool to watch. This one in and of itself has 200,000 planned cell points. And this one had 80,000 cell points planned. And there is a formula that is utilized in order to calculate these numbers. So let me head over to the game Wikipedia, by the way. It is simply dspwiki.com. I have the ray receiver up, but I can go on ahead and just grab this. It's one of the starting pages, is the Dyson Sphere, and it gives you how much one structure point and one cell point are able to actually process, and these numbers are for a 1.00 luminosity. Our Dyson Sphere is being built around a planet, or around a star, that has a 1.85 luminosity. So when I run that number and all of those numbers through how many cell points we have and everything else, I found out that this Dyson Sphere is going to be capable of almost 80 gigawatts. I think it's like 79.37 gigawatts of energy. And the sad thing is that we're going to use pretty much all of it for our actual antimatter fuel rods. And that's just straight up kind of sad, in my opinion. Our antimatter fuel rods require an absolute immense amount of energy to create critical photons at a stable rate. So let me go on ahead and show off my Google Sheets here. These are in the description and should be fully optimized by the time that you guys are looking at them. We're going to be doing 5 antimatter fuel rods per second, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it should be more than enough for what we need. It is going to require 30 critical photons, which is 150 ray receivers using graviton lenses, which is why I have this up. With just the base ray receiver, It can be put into photon mode where it produces critical photons at 6 per minute, consuming 120 megawatts. With a graviton lens, it produces 12 critical photons at 240 megawatts. So double the photons, double the power per machine, less machines, same input and same output. Which is why this cell depends on critical photons rather than ray receivers, because that would just mess up the numbers. So the sphere energy, 36,000 megawatts, or 36 gigawatts. Same difference, it's just an extra 1,000 sig figs and all that good stuff. And then the graviton lens is using something that I've never really used in Excel before, but it's the round up command. So I added a comment here. It computes the exact number of graviton lenses required per second, and then rounds up to the nearest whole number for simplicity to ensure the system never runs out of lenses. So the actual amount that it needs is 0.25. However, I feel like that's a little sketchy to make it exact, so I went on ahead and rounded it up to 1, and it really doesn't do that much else in terms of cost, like 4 extra copper, 4 extra electromagnetic turbines, 2 extra particle containers, 4 extra fire ice. All of these numbers are in per second, by the way. So there's really not a huge increase to our resource demand for this, just by adding in the graviton lenses and then rounding it up. If I don't round it up and I leave this as 0.25, not 253, you can see it's like 1 and 1 versus what it was of 4 and 4. Like, it's really not that big of a difference. I don't see a point in doing it, so I just went on ahead with the roundup, and I feel like that is a good call overall. So for our actual Dyson Sphere program system, getting back into things, there we go. We have a smelting hub where we are going to be producing all of our iron, copper, silica, titanium alloy, electromagnetic turbines, particle containers, graphene, all of that good stuff. There's a local ice giant, so that's where we're getting our fire ice for the graphene, and most of our hydrogen for our quantum chips, which go into the warpers, which is green science, by the way. All of the blueprints that you see here and all of the Google Sheets that you see here are in the description below. We have a hub world here, which is where I'm at. This is where we are launching all of these. And this is also where I have my interstellar hub. That way I can grab my resources whenever I need them. We are going to have a world here at the center, which is antimatter. This is where we're going to be making the actual blueprint for our critical photons, evidently some graviton lenses, and everything else that goes into the antimatter fuel rods, such as the annihilation constraint spheres, which require the processors and all that good stuff. We already have blueprints for most of the things that you're going to see here today. And then the other world is way out here, the green science world. There we go, green science. This is where we are going to be making all of our warpers. We're going to be using the green science alternate recipe right here, which requires green science, which requires quantum chips and graviton lenses, which requires diamonds and strange matter, which is where the deuterium comes into play. We're going to be making all of the deuterium on this planet here, shipping some of the strange matter from this planet back to the antimatter planet in order to make the graviton lenses on this planet in order to... well, actually, graviton lens... yeah, probably going to be making all the graviton lenses over here and then shipping them down to the antimatter planet, which is where we're going to have a huge blueprint for our actual critical photons. Now, with all of that said and done, one more thing needs said, and that is that this system is huge. This solar system is ginormous. The orbital radius of the farthest orbiting planet is like 8.7 AU, and the interstellar logic hubs default to utilizing warpers at 12, which means that if we're trying to ship something between this planet over here on this side of its orbit and the hub world, for example, on this side of its orbit, we're going to exceed that 12 AU. And that is an absolute nightmare, specifically because of the fact that it's going to take forever to make it without warpers, and it's going to be hemorrhaging warpers going back and forth if we don't use warpers. So my general solution is to just have more logic hubs. That way I have more logistics vessels utilized. And I do still have my preliminary science chugging along, so if I feel the need to, I can just keep searching the logistic carrier engine, although it is very expensive, so I don't quite feel the need to be doing that just yet. Now, the first thing that I want to do in this episode is just show you guys the utilization of all of my blueprints. So I have a little bit more number crunching to do, and then I will show you guys placing all of the blueprints and how easy it is once you have your blueprint system set up, whether you do one of your own, or you take mine, or you take Nilaus's, or you take anybody else's, like a speedrunner or something. It's so easy to just build large-scale projects in this game with blueprints, and it's something I really hope that they eventually add to Satisfactory. Whew. Lots of talking. I'm going to do some numbers, and then we will get into things officially. Okay. Calculations have been done. The entire planet has been harvested. Not every planet in the system has been harvested, obviously. Our Dyson Sphere is coming along fantastically. Look at that. We already have almost a full diamond ready to go. Solar sails being absorbed as we speak. Perfection if I've ever seen it. Look at that go. And just to give an update on percentage-wise, I'd say 10, maybe 20% of the structure points. Actually, an eighth of the structure points. So somewhere in between. And barely any cell points, because I did not actually fix that problem yet. But I ran the numbers, and we need 2 iron ingot smelting setups, barely any steel, so I'll figure out something to do with the steel here momentarily. Make sure everything is in line. There's setup number 1, and setup number 2. And then, in all honesty, what I can do for the steel is I can take... I don't know. I don't know how I want to do this. I could probably just do it out this side here. Like this. Take out the iron ingots, like so. Put down a couple of these guys, like, I don't know, 10? And then bring it right back in. Grab this as steel. Place this here. Run it down. Grab ourselves a handy dandy power pole. And make sure that everything is getting powered. Perfection. And now we have steel. Where's steel? Steel as a local supply, remote supply, local supply, remote supply. We do want to go on ahead and make this 16 AU, just because we can. Same thing here, bump it up to 16 AU. we're dipping below 30 frames per second, which makes sense. We are building a ginormous Dyson Sphere, 2 of them, actually, technically. So that's nice and fun. We're going to need to build another ginormous one for the white science at some point. But that is iron completely done with. So, copper is next. We only need 1 smelting setup for copper. That's gonna mess with the fault lines, so we're just gonna go down here. Line it up properly, make sure it's centered. And there we go. Copper is done. All I have to do is put those in. Go on ahead and 14 AU, or 16 AU rather. Local demand, remote demand. Local demand, remote demand. Local demand, remote demand. And that is all done. Next, magnets. Make sure that these are in line with one another. Make sure it is centered. Perfection. I ran out of inserters, so I'm gonna need to go get some of those in a moment. This and this. Remote demand. Get rid of that. 16 AU. All done. So that is iron, magnets, copper. We're going to need diamonds from coal and diamonds from kimberlite. I'll leave some room probably up here to do that. I'm not going to mess with that right now. 1 setup for our silica smelting. So go on ahead, make sure it is nice and lined up. Just like that. That should be right. Yes, that's correct. 16 AU, local demand, remote demand. Put in all of our stuff. Make sure all of these are local and remote, good. And then local and remote, good. Again, I'm out of inserters, and I'm out of belts now too. That's great, I'm gonna need those. Next up is titanium. We need 1 of these. So make sure it's lined up. Lock it down. Obviously that one went very, very fast. 16 AU. Oh yeah, transport range of vessels. That needs to be dropped. So that's something else I'm gonna have to take care of for all of these. Make sure the transport range of vessels is 1 light year. Nothing is ever gonna be outside of 1 light year. The solar system that I'm in currently is not that wide, so that's good. That is silica and titanium taken care of. Next up, we can do titanium alloy. So, let me grab my titanium alloy blueprint. I'm just gonna bring it up here. And I think it'll go here. Yes, it will. Again, I'm still out of belts and inserters, so I'm gonna have to run and I'm gonna have to grab those. I'm also out of some smelters, so I'm gonna have to do that too. Local demand, local demand, local demand, local and remote supply, I believe, is what I need this one for. So we'll go on ahead and do that. 16 AU. Yep, that's all good. Fantastic. We need 1/5 of a setup of glass. 1/5 of a setup of glass. Where's my glass? That's titanium glass. Where's my actual glass? There's my actual glass. So we only need 1/5 of this. I can't place it if it's dividing tropic lines. Such a shame. Oh well. We'll go on ahead and put it right there. And then grab my eraser brush. And 1/5. 1/5. So I'm gonna estimate there. Doesn't need to be perfect. Just needs to work. That's all that matters, is that it works. Minus and plus keys to expand your brush or retract your brush, by the way. Local demand, remote demand, boom, boom. 16 AU, perfection, wonderful. And then we need our diamond from coal and diamond from kimberlite, as well as upscaled graphene. So I'm gonna go back to the hub world real quick and grab myself some materials, and I will be back to work on that with you guys shortly. Oh, shift, right. And now that all of that, excuse me, is completed, including the stone, and I also harvested some sulfuric acid for our titanium alloy smelter, we can move on to diamonds. So I just have a little 20 set up here. The ratio is 3 to 2, I want to say, or 3 to 4, 4 to 3, something or other. 3 to 4, I want to say. So for 20 of these, it would be 28, maybe 30, something along those lines of the diamonds per second, which is way more than we need. So that's all good. Local demand, remote demand. Obviously, it's going to need to charge. Put it up to 16, put it down to a light year. And then it is as simple as always, where we just grab our power poles. I need to be very careful when placing power poles now, thanks to how much I am lagging and my FPS is dropping. So that's a little bit of a shame, but at the end of the day, it's not a huge deal. It's just a little bit of an inconvenience. And then next up, we can do the one for kimberlite. So kimberlite, local demand, remote demand. I did put drones in here, didn't I? Yes, I did. Okay, they just got back. Awesome. And then diamond, local and remote supply. Up to 16, down to 1 light year, up to 100%. And then we're going to do the exact same thing here, except we're going to do it just like the other smelting rigs. So I think I will leave this part for myself, because it's literally just going to be exactly this. And then 2 belts coming out. I missed it. There we go. 2 belts coming out. And another 10 machines. So I'll leave that for myself. Right now, I would like to expand on my graphene setup. No, this one. So this graphene setup uses the Mark II belts, and it produces 24 graphite and 12 hydrogen for 24 fire ice. And you know what? Honestly, that's not too bad. I think I might actually just keep this one. The only other thing that I could do would be to do 30 per second instead of 24, but I don't really see a purpose for that. So we're just gonna keep this one as is, I think. I think this one is gonna be fine. So let's go on ahead, line it up, and plop it down. And then handy dandy upgrade, brush, no facilities, no sorters, only belts. And I probably should have done sorters too, actually. There we go. Because they're Mark II sorters. That should have done it. Fantastic. And then remote demand, not local supply, local storage, local supply, local supply. Transport range of vessels, 1 light year. Go on ahead and put that to 16. Perfect. How's our power grid? Perfectly fine. And there we have it. That is graphene. And the last thing that I want to do, let me pull up my, there it is our motors. And let's find a quadrant. We'll do that over starting over here rather. And for this, we are going to need one of our setups of magnetic coils, because we need 80 magnetic coils. Nope, wrong build. There's my magnetic coils. This does 60 per second. Oh, 20 machines. So we need 2 of these systems, actually. And do these fit here? Can't tell if these fit here. Barely not. Okay, that's fine. We'll just put them... Can I put them up here? Yes, I can. I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have done that. Stop. For the love of all that is holy, stop. I shouldn't have just done that willy-nilly. Should have at least tried to place it first and then seen what happened. So we need 2 of these because we need 80 magnets each, or 80 magnetic coils. Each of these systems does 60. So there we go. And then next up is our gears, which should be a 40 system. It sure is a 40 system. And we can place that here. We only need 40 gears, and I'm pretty sure this does like 60 gears per second or something. That's not right. That's also not right. This doesn't have a description, but I know for a fact that it's a 1 to 1 second, so this is probably like 60 gears per second or something along those lines in total. So that is that done. So magnetic coils are done, gears are done. I overestimated my iron by a decent amount, actually, I just realized, because I doubled my gear amount. Oh well, that's fine. And then motors, we're going to need 2 of our motor setups, because we technically need 40 motors, and each of these only does 30. So center that and place it down. Center it again and place it down. We're missing inserters again, so I'll have to go grab those probably off camera. I don't feel like grabbing them. I just want to showcase this, and I'm running out of time. And then last but not least is the electromagnetic turbines, which is a planetary hub. First of all, that's nice. Yeah, I figured it was going to do that. But that should be fine because we only need 20 per second. This does 30, so if we're losing 2 machines, that's not a problem overall. And then local. Perfect. Here come some of the gears. And I don't need anything else. We don't need this at all because it's not a remote output. Oh, that's sad. It doesn't actually place the logic hub? Okay, fine. How about I do this? I snip the belts a whole bunch. Huh. Very intriguing. Okay, that's fine. I'll just place it myself then. And then we want our motors, magnetic coils, and electromagnetic turbines. We did 3,000 and 2,000. Supply, demand, 100%. Put our drones in. That does that. This does this. This does that. This does that. That goes away. This does that. And this does that. And that goes in. Absolute perfection, minus the fact that I'm missing 165 of my inserters. Apart from that, everything is working, and it's done. Literally done. So the only things that we have left to do for our antimatter next time is going to be a particle container blueprint, because of the fact that we have our electromagnetic turbines and graphene and copper all finished. We're going to need to do processors, but we already have blueprints for processors, so no need to worry about anything there. And then we are going to need to make a blueprint for the critical photons, as well as some stuff for the graviton lenses, obviously. So particle container is going to be fun on that one. Strange matter. And then finally the antimatter fuel rods, and that will all be some design work that we get into next time. But I hope that this episode gave you guys a little bit of an insight into how fast you can do things in this game when you have proper blueprinting set up and ready to go. So without further ado, thank you everybody so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed, but without further ado, adios, sayonara, au revoir, hasta la vista, das vidania, wiedersehen, ciao, and goodbye. Get some sleep if you need to. Don't forget to stay hydrated. This video is in the bag, and I will see you guys in the next one. Please have yourselves all a wonderful day. And thanks for sticking around. Later, guys.